Howdy, everyone. Paul McMann here with Forex Smart Trade. So glad you could be with us this Monday evening, August 23rd, 2021. Here at Forex Smart Trade, our mission is to make you the best version of yourself. And we do that by helping you become financially independent, by teaching you how to currency trade using our super accurate trading tools and our best in the business one-on-one training. We believe that the two coupled together gives you exponential power in being able to kind of master currency trading. Currency trading on your own is difficult, but when you have somebody in the business who is good at it and can mentor you, we believe that makes a difference. In this session, there's two reasons we actually do these sessions. One is to show you as kind of a teaching moment to teach you specific trades, and we have probably a dozen different signals. The signal I use today is a little bit different than the one that you get taught if you're in the light program. Once you go on to coaching, we start showing you the various signals, and we will find one that's appropriate or that resonates with you and create a trade plan around it. And then the other reason is to just show you how accurate our tools are. In the trial, you won't be able to learn enough quick enough to kind of get as good as the traders who do the live sessions. But the proof's in the pudding. You can see me trade, and only difference between me and you is I've learned how to read the indicators. So with that, the two trades we're going to focus on are something called the 10-point trade, which is kind of my bread and butter trade. And then we have a little quick scalpy trade, the thick orange line. If we don't find a 10-point trade, we'll look for the little scalp trade. With that, before we get going, we need to listen to this guy. So let's do that.
Due to federal and state regulations, we are providing the following disclosure. Please stay tuned, as this will take less than a minute. Foreign exchange, futures, and cryptocurrency trading are highly risky, and you can lose all the money you invest should you decide to engage in live trading. We are not responsible for your investment, trading, or tax decisions. We are not licensed financial advisors, traders, accountants, stockbrokers, or attorneys. We are not licensed commodities brokers and do not engage in or facilitate commodities transactions. We are not an introducing broker, and we make no recommendation as to where you should invest or what broker you should trade with. As you apply what you learn, we recommend you seek advice from licensed professionals. Any trade results that we show should not be considered typical of our students. We do not and cannot track the results or performance of our students' private trading accounts. We do not know what a typical or average student earns or loses trading. This is not a get-rich-quick program, guaranteed system, or business opportunity. We sell training and trading tools. We make no promises our training or tools will generate future income for students, and you may not make your investment back, including your investment in this training. Any redistribution or recording of this material is strictly prohibited without advance written permission.
As many of you know, I trade off of actually just one more thing. We do a number of live trades. I do 3 live trades. We've got the one this evening at 6:30. We do another one tomorrow morning at 7:30 and another one Thursday morning at 7:30. For those of you in the light program, there's an intro to coaching session tomorrow at 9:30 and Thursday at 10 p.m. And then we've got a light member meeting on Wednesdays at 9. When you get into the coaching program, you get access to a dozen more or 10 more live trades. We do a 30-minute scalp trade in the morning at 10 a.m. and we do a longer term trade in the evening at 10 p.m. We do a trade on Sunday, when the market opens. And then there's additional instruction times. And then there's also the On It, which is a paid session. Again, so lots of opportunities to watch good traders trade. And in the beginning, if you're not doing at least 10 pips a day on your own, attend these, copy the trades, and you will net more than 10 pips, or you should net more than 10 pips. But you got to do it consistently. Now, as I said, I also like to trade off of a routine. Before I start, I check to make sure my green charts are current and that I'm connected with my MetaTrader 4 to the market. Review of yesterday's trade. It is good habit to review what you did to see what you did wrong. And actually, I'm kind of mad at you guys because last Thursday we took a trade, but nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that we took the wrong pair. The one trade that we lost on Thursday morning, I grabbed the wrong pair. So if you see me doing that, we did our analysis on an entirely different pair. And what happens is I got a little piece of paper here and I write down the pairs that we're looking at that are potential trades. This was the one that I decided wasn't a good trade, but I had it down there. So when I went to key it in and I looked down, I keyed in the wrong one. So, and I went back and the trade that we would have taken would have closed. So if you see that, if you see like I'm missing something or making a mistake, turn your volume on and say, hey, Paul, take a look at that. Generally, I don't like people interrupting, but what happens is I've got the screen way over here and I'm focused on what I'm doing in front of you. So I'm not really paying attention to that. So I don't see the chat until it's kind of too late. So if you see that I'm making a mistake like that, speak up and we get it corrected before we go too far down the line. So with that, let's go ahead and start doing our analysis. We can get rid of this guy. Actually going back here on our, we are technical traders. Being technical traders means that we rely kind of just on the price action movement of the currency pair, and our indicators are very good at picking up the turns in those movements. So, but another thing that impacts currency prices is news. So we want to know what the news is so we can trade around it. And we get that news off of going to a website called forexfactory.com. And Forex Factory very neatly kind of breaks things down into three categories. Yellow is low impact, orange is medium impact, and red is high impact. We don't want to trade when there's a red item coming up. And usually my focus is to try to get out of that trade with 2 hours to spare before the trade event. So this morning at the 3:30 Eastern time, so it's just slightly after the London opens, there is some news being posted in Europe. So we will keep that in our pocket here as we do evaluations on if we end up taking a trade in the euro currency. We are going to focus primarily on items that are trading at morning time, and that would be the Japanese yen, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. So we're going to look at those pairs primarily because our tools are better when the market's active. So the market's going to be active. It's becoming morning in each of those markets right about now. So, and then the rest of the day is we got nothing to worry about. Some people will argue that two orange items on the same pair equal a red. I don't, but it's better until you've kind of figured it out for yourself what you feel comfortable with. That's something to consider, but I've never seen I haven't seen an issue when there's two oranges. So with that, let's go in and take a look and do our technical analysis. So here are our indicators. This first set is all, and you have this. It's labeled light 6 majors. They're all U.S. based. So I'm going to pass on this. Well, actually, I guess we could use Australian USD. We'll start with the Australian USD and the USD yen because it's morning time there. So I start with the middle chart, which is the majors and minors. And I am looking for situations where we are either oversold. Now, this is the 10-point trade that we're doing. So I'm looking for situations where we're oversold or over, which means we're below the red line, or overbought, which means we are above the blue line. So when we're oversold, and oversold means all the lines are below the red line, that becomes a buying opportunity. The market's going to come back up. And we want to get precise or as close as we can on the timing so that we don't have to hold something for a long time. So when these are oversold, I want them all pointing up. Minors didn't quite get to oversold, but they're pointing up, but the majors are pointing down, so I'm going to pass. I want everybody below the line and pointing up. I don't have that. And the reason I want them down here is so that I can catch a run when it runs all the way through the channel. And that'll give me the opportunity to get more pips. And the more pips I get, the more money I make. So here on the US dollar yen, we are overbought on the majors. The minors aren't there yet, but we're going up. So I've got nothing here or nothing here. So I'm going to go to my next pair. And what I've got is different pairs on this second set that are non-US based. This first one is Europe pound, but it's night in Europe. It's a 5-hour difference in London and 6 to 8 hours in Europe, depending on where you're at. I want to trade. So this theoretically is a good signal, but it's late. It's late there. There's not going to be much movement. And when there's not much movement, we won't get many pips. So I want to find something where the market, it's morning time in one of the markets. And here on the Australian dollar yen, it is morning in Australia. So we are oversold. Majors are going up, minors are going up, and I have what's called a double cross, where the greens come over the red and the gray has come over the black. So everybody's pointing up. I've got 3 points here. One that we're oversold, 2 that everybody's pointing up, and 3 that we've got the double cross. When I have 3 points, then I can do more analysis. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to go to the top of the chart, to the TNTs, and I want to count how many lines are supporting what I'm seeing here. And the 2 orange lines are going up, the thick and the thin. So that's 2 points. And the blue lines are inversely related. So what that means is that when blue is coming down, that means up. So the dotted blue is coming down, the thick blue is coming down. So all 4 of the lines here are telling me I've got an up move. I want a minimum of 3 of the 4. I've got 4 of the 4, so that is good. And then what I am going to do is I am going to take a look at what the pressure is doing. And I either want the pressure lines going up or I want the green line on top. I've got a very slight up move here. The lines are gapped, which means the tighter these lines are, the closer together these lines are, the stronger the signal. And the steeper these lines are, the stronger the signal. So this is going up very slightly, even though red's on top. So I've got a point here. So I've got 8 points, 1 with the pressure, 3 with the majors and minors, and 4 with the TNTs. When I have a minimum of 7 points, that suggests I have a good trade. And that increases the prospective accuracy that I'm going to have in taking the trade, because each of these things, each of the sections measures something a little bit different. So when I get agreement across all the sections, that's a higher probability trade that we're going to have. So what I want to do then is, going back to my little chart, is I want to figure out where the support and resistance are, what the channels are. So to do that, I am going to open up a clean chart. And actually, that was the Australian pound yen, AUD, JPY. So I am going to set up, I don't think did we do that chart? AUD, JPY, I don't have that. So I'm going to take this existing chart and I'm going to change it to an AUD, JPY. AUD, JPY. So this is just a clean chart with just the candles on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it back because I want to get about at least a minimum of 3 months on here. And I've got that, and I want to drop some support and resistance on here. So support and resistance are situations where the candles seem to stop. So I am going to draw a horizontal line, and the market tends to respect where these spots are. It doesn't trade through those lines immediately. AUDJPY. Let's draw another one. Now these are a little tough because I don't have many data points. In the last 3 months, we're kind of trading at the low, but obviously it stopped here, but that's only one data point. It seems to have stopped here, bounced here. In fact, bring it down just a hair bit. So it stopped in here, it stopped in here. Let's get another one above. Again, I don't really like these support and resistance lines because we don't have enough data points, but got to go with what we have. So if we had more time, I may try to go back further and look at it on the current green chart. I don't know how to go further back than this, but on the old green chart, you could go back 10 years. And see other data points. But right now we are, we're trading. Actually, let's get one more here. It's bumping right in here, bumping right in here. Once I got some support and resistance on here, then I want to take on a 1 hour chart on the euro dollar, these tend to be about 30 pips apart. On this, I don't know what it's going to be. We're going from, say, 96 to 62. That's almost 60 pips. That's a bit much. I'm guessing here we're at 43 to 96, so 50 pips between this one and this one. That seems within range. So now what I want to do is I want to take a look, and I want to know how much room do I have from the current point to the resistance line. So if I look up here, it's going to show me, but as I draw the line up to here, I've got about 48 pips up and 18 pips down. But you know what else I want to do? I'm 48 up. I draw one more line because I think this is still a little too much. I'm going to draw a line right in here. See, it bounces in here, it bounces in here. So that's going to give me come on, 20 pips up and 17 pips down. Oh, come on. All right, so 20 pips up and 17 pips down from where we are. So that kind of gives me the range of where we can go. And now I also want to, come on here. I want to look at a full chart. And what I mean by a full chart is I want to look at the different time periods. We were looking at just a 1 hour chart before for the setup. I want to look and see what the 30-minute chart is telling me, what the 2 hour chart is telling me, what the 4 hour chart is telling me. And ideally, I want to get some agreement with what I'm seeing on the 1 hour chart on the 2-hour and the 4-hour chart. So let's go ahead and put that symbol in, AUD JPY. Now this is curious. AUD JPY. Oh, AUD JPY. AUD JPY. Well, my problem is we're looking at the 1-hour chart, and the 2 1-hour charts are different. I'm going to save this. Come on. I don't want to do that. So what I'm doing is I'm refreshing the chart. All right, so it's moved up through the channel while we've been talking, but it is still different. Well, we're not going to take that because the charts are different. And I apologize, I don't know why the charts are different. I will make a note of it and send it in to the tech team. This is different than what we're seeing over here. You know, this is already overbought, and I'm not going to take a trade when we're overbought like that. And here the thick blue is going up. Over here, the thick blue is going, oh, it's going up too now. Anyways, we're going to pass on that trade because the charts are different, and I'm not quite sure why. And it may be, maybe something I am doing because I'm not an expert yet on the new chart. I'm just trained on the old chart. So with that, we got 5 minutes left. I'm going to do a different signal. This signal is what's called the thick orange line signal, and it is a very simple signal. It's a little scalp trade, and it relies on strictly what the thick orange line is doing. And the thick orange line is it's a relative number. It's scaled. It goes from 0 when it's as low as it can go to 10 when it's as high as it can go. So right now it's at 0, and it's been at 0 the last 2 hours. I can tell because this candle's at 0 and this candle's at 0. When it's at 0, what it is telling us is that it believes the down move is maxed out. There's nothing left in the down move. It can't go down anymore. So obviously, if it can't go down anymore, that is a good time to buy. However, our goal is to have a high accuracy rate when we trade. And to get that high accuracy rate, we want something that supports what the one signal is telling us. So to get that support, I am going to go here to my majors and minors, and I want to see all four lines well below the red line. And if I have that, it is a good buy, and it's a buy for 5 pips. So we have that here. Well, we don't have the minors below. I am okay if there's a difference between what the majors and minors are doing. I'm going to pay attention to the majors. I want the majors, all the lines, especially the red line, which is pretty deep here. So we're going to go ahead and take a 5 pip buy on the AUD USD. Now, I know it's not morning time in US, but it is in Australia. So we're going to go ahead and take a 5 pip buy on the AUD USD. So I'm going to call up my MetaTrader 4. I'm going to look for AUD USD. AUD USD, I already have it here. If you didn't have it, you would go to File, New Chart, and then you would scroll till you found it. And it's probably in the first block here. Then once you get it up on your screen, you're going to go to New Order. It'll pop up the window. We're going to take a look at the account size. The account size is 11,400. This is a demo account. To get my appropriate lot size, I am going to move the decimal point over 4 spots. I move this decimal spot over 4 spots, I come to 1.1. So I'm going to make my volume 1.1. Market execution. I'm not going to worry about my stop loss and take profit right yet. I just want to get the trade in. So I'm going to click market buy. I'm just going to double check it here just to make sure. Not screwing up. It was 0 and all the lines are down. So that is correct. It's a buy. And then it records it down below. When it records it down below, it has 0 in for the take profit and stop loss. So I'm going to just right click anywhere along this line and it will bring up this menu. I'm going to go to modify. And this trade is always good for 5 pips. 5 pips equals 50 points. If I type 50 in here and then click the little copy as button, it does the math and sticks it down here. And we are going to use a 4-to-1 stop loss. So if I'm going for 5 pips, I'm going to use a 20 pip stop loss. And I'd like to make sure I get the full 5 pips. So I'm going to just check the math here. 0.72142. If I add 5 to this 4, I am going to go up to 19. And I am at 19.3. So that's right. That's a hair over 5 pips, so I'm going to keep that. And then I click modify, and it drops in the numbers for me. Let's see if we have one more. We got another 3 minutes here. Here on the USD JPY, we're at 8.3. It needs to be within 1 point to be the end. So 8.3 is not, so it needs to be above 9. So that's not there. So let's go to the next group. 8.9. Oh, that's close. Euro AUD, we're at a 10. We're at a 10. And the majors and minors are way above 10. These lines support it. So let's take a 5 pip sell on the EUR AUD. 5 pip sell on the EUR AUD. EUR, do I have them open? EUR, I don't. So I'm going to go to File, New Chart, and I'm going to look for EUR AUD right here. Opens it up, and I am going to go ahead and click New Order. 1.1, my volume is the same. I'm going to click market sell. It records it down here. I'm going to go to modify 50. It remembers what I did last time, so all I got to do is click the copy as, and I just want to make sure I get the 5 points, 5 pips, 62.79. So I'm going to go to 62.74, 62.74.7. So I adjusted this. So to read what we did, we took one buy on the AUD USD with the take profit of 0.72193, take profit of 0.72193, and a stop loss of 0.71942, and then we took a sell, again using the thick orange line on the EUR AUD, with a take profit of 1.62747, 1.62747, and stop loss of 1.63026, 1.63026. Now, some people on this trade, they want to make sure that the number sorry, I got to write it down because I can't remember. On the AUD, USD, EUR, AUD, they'll want to go back and make sure. They'll wait till the actual top of the hour and the candle changes, and they'll want to see that the number changes by more than 1. So we were at 10 here, and now it went down to 7.6. So it did bounce more than 1, so we're good there. And on the AUD USD, he didn't bounce at all. He's still at 0. So 0, 3 hours in a row. So this one may take an extra hour to close. On the EUR AUD, I would expect that to close in the next hour or two. This one might take 3 hours. Let's see if we've got any questions. There are 5 hour on the left side. Where are the numbers located at? I don't know when you're saying a 5 hour chart and a 20 hour chart. I'm not sure what you're referring to. On the more detailed chart, where is it here? This is a 2 hour chart. This is a 4 hour chart. This is a 1 day chart, but this is how much time is left on the candle. So there's 21 hours left on the candle, or 23, basically 22 hours left on the candle. The new day starts at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So there's on the 4 hour candle, there's 2 hours left here, an hour 56 minutes, an hour on a 2 hour chart. This is a new candle that just came up. So there's an hour and 56 minutes, 56 minutes, the 30 minutes, 26 minutes left. On the 1 minute, there's 8 seconds left. My thick orange line. All right, Karina, I've noted what you said, and I am going to send an email in as soon as we get off today. AUD. I'm going to just refresh this one more time and see what happens. I refresh it right before we come on, because usually the last half of the day. Yeah, there's a little discrepancy there, and I'm going to kind of get to the bottom of it. But thank you for pointing that out. All right, gang. So glad you could be here today. We will be doing this again tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m. We are here to help. These tools work very, very well once you know how to use them. And the best way to learn how to use them is to get some one-on-one personalized training. All right. So thanks so much. We will see you tomorrow morning.